The U.S. Labor Secretary Alexander Acosta is squarely in the middle of the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking case amid calls for his resignation. President Donald Trump has come out in support of his Labor Secretary. Listen in.
What happened 12 or 15 years ago with respect to when he was a U.S. attorney, I think in Miami. Is it Miami?
Yes.
You know, if you go back and look at everybody else's decisions, whether it's a U.S. attorney or an assistant U.S. attorney or a judge, you go back 12 or 15 years ago or 20 years ago and look at their past decisions, I would think you'd probably find that they would wish they maybe did it a different way. I do hear that there were a lot of people involved in that decision, not just him. I can only say this from what I know, and what I do know is that he's been a great, really great Secretary of Labor. The rest of it we'll have to look at. We'll have to look at it very carefully. But you're talking about a long time ago. And again, it was a decision made, I think, not by him, but by a lot of people. So we're going to look at it very carefully. We'll be looking at that very carefully. Okay?
Interestingly, the president seems to be walking a tightrope here while promising to look into the case. The president seems to be taking a stand that his Labor Secretary is good at his job and that a good deal of others were also involved in the decade-long controversy. Alexander Acosta, who worked as a federal prosecutor in Florida almost a decade back, is being accused of negotiating a lighter sentence for Jeffrey Epstein. Epstein had pleaded guilty in 2008 to prostitution charges, but Acosta offered him a deal that meant that the financier had to spend only 18 months in jail. What's more, a work release program meant that Epstein served most of his sentence working at his office and was given an early release in 2009. In light of the new investigations, many Democrats are demanding Acosta to step down, and the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is leading that charge. However, the president doesn't seem to be interested in removing his Labor Secretary. On his part, Acosta has defended his actions almost a decade back. Through a series of tweets, Acosta argues that the prosecution was done based on evidence available and that the sentence required Epstein to register himself as a sex offender and go to jail. He also expressed pleasure over the fact that the New York prosecutors were moving ahead with the new legislation.